Alright, so you should have back your When Will I See You Again worksheet. So I just want to go over that with you so that you can understand what you were supposed to do if you didn't get it done right, and you can redo it and turn it back in if you want to. So you should have a graph that's set up like this. You should have a title on your graph. You should have the zone. There you go. You should have the year, and you should have points plotted on here. Okay? So the zones are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the years are 2001 to 2011. I don't think anybody had trouble with that, and you had to be careful about where you plotted your points. You had 2 different points plotted in the same space, and that told you when 2 fish were coming together. So you should have ended up with 3 times a female met a male and written those 3 times down here. There were 2 times it was 2 different males in the same area, but you were supposed to have only written down the male-female times when they met. Okay, so question 2 says, if a female sturgeon lays 40,000 eggs each time she spawns, how many eggs were actually fertilized during these 10 years? If you have 3 times where a female met a male, and each time she laid 40,000 eggs, and we assume that they were all fertilized, then the answer to this question would be 40,000 times 3. Because each pairing, she would have laid 40,000 eggs, so that becomes 40,000 times 3. How many eggs could have been fertilized had the males and females met each year? You had 2 female fish, and each female fish would have laid 40,000 eggs over 10 years. So then you would take 2 times 40,000 times 10. Number 4, what percent of eggs were fertilized, assuming all eggs were fertilized in the year where male and female were in the same location at the same time? So you take your answer from question 2, and you divide it by answer 3, and you're going to have some sort of decimal. So maybe you got 0.25, okay? That's not the correct answer, by the way. In order to turn that into a percent, you just move the decimal over 2 places, and it becomes 25%. If you put the numbers in the calculator and got a whole number, you did something wrong. What years of data are missing? Just look at your graph and see what years did not get graphed from 2001 to 2011. What years do not have data? Describe what you think these years are missing. Why is it that we don't have data for every year? Remember that these are actual fish that have been chipped, just like Bubbles has been chipped, and they can scan the fish each year to see which fish are spawning in the river. Question 7, what has this activity taught you about the life cycle of sturgeon? And then write a couple of sentences. Okay, and then over here, complete this scatter plot, which most of you didn't have any trouble doing. But these questions here, make sure that you put the colors in here for what color you used. Make sure that you initialed and you titled your axes, and have a title for the top of it. What is the range? Remember, range is highest number to lowest number. So you write the range here. Make sure you initial after you've done them. What is the scale for the graph? And the scale is just the difference between, so if you go up by 2s, 2 would be your scale. If you went up by 3s, 3 would be your scale. And then what are you still having trouble with? You can write something there. This should say what is the correlation, because there's always a correlation. Even if it's no correlation, that's still a correlation. All right, hope this helps.